This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener. Welcome to The Gist. It is Monday, August the 17th, 2026. I'm John.
And I'm Mary. We are your smart friends on the go, here to help you make sense of the world. Let's get into it.
We always start with the gist view. Today, we are looking at who is really paying for the global electric vehicle revolution.
Let's talk about Geely. They are China's second largest electric vehicle maker, and they just posted their numbers for the first half of 2026.
The numbers are massive. Revenue hit 173.6 billion renminbi, that is China's official currency. In United States dollars, that's roughly 24 billion. It is a solid 15% jump from last year.
But the real story isn't the total revenue. It is where that money comes from. Geely's overseas shipments exploded. They are up 158%.
Right, they shipped nearly 500,000 cars abroad. Driven by those foreign sales, their core net profit surged 46% to nearly 10 billion renminbi.
So, who benefits here? On the surface, it looks like a big win for the global consumer. Buyers around the world get high-quality, affordable EVs.
True, Geely has a real edge in making these cars cheaply. But look at the incentives driving this. The domestic car market in China is a brutal price war right now. Demand at home is sluggish. Companies are bleeding cash.
Exactly. To survive, Chinese automakers are using international markets as a lifeline. They export aggressively to bail out their profit margins.
Think of it like a restaurant losing money on cheap lunches for the locals, but staying in business by landing huge, profitable catering gigs out of town.
That is a perfect analogy. Global consumers are getting cheap cars, but they are also acting as an industrial backstop. Western buyers are effectively subsidising the survival and the consolidation of China's auto industry.
And that massive flow of resources is exactly what is testing the patience of Western trade regulators.
Moving to the global overview, let's stick with China for a second, but pivot from heavy metal to digital code. Alibaba is making a massive move.
The giant tech conglomerate is selling off its video game business. The deal is worth at least $1.5 billion.
Why sell? It is all about redirecting capital. Alibaba is dumping non-core entertainment assets. They want to aggressively funnel that money into artificial intelligence.
It shows where the real power lies right now. Entertainment is nice, but artificial intelligence is the engine of the new economy. If an asset doesn't feed the artificial intelligence machine, it gets liquidated.
Now, let's look at how physical things actually get built globally. A new study from the CEPR just came out. That is the Centre for Economic Policy Research, a network of European economists. They reveal a fascinating tactic by major global companies.
They found that multinational firms are deliberately slicing up their supply chains. They spread production across several different countries.
Right. They don't want any single factory to know how to build the whole product. It is a defence mechanism.
It is like giving one baker the recipe for the cake and a totally different baker the recipe for the frosting. Nobody can steal the whole dessert.
Exactly. They do this because intellectual property rights are weak in many places. This fragmentation protects their trade secrets.
It's highly inefficient, but the fear of getting your ideas stolen is a powerful incentive to spread things out.
Turning to the European perspective, let's talk about housing in Spain and Portugal. The Iberian Peninsula has a severe property shortage. If you follow the local news, you hear a lot of public anger directed at immigrants and tourists. People blame them for taking up all the space. And sure, highly lucrative short-term tourist rentals and immigration create sudden bursts of demand, but the core problem is a massive lack of supply.
Why aren't they building more? Because the incentives are entirely broken. Heavy bureaucracy makes getting a permit a nightmare. Add in strict rent controls and developers simply walk away.
Construction costs are also sky high. So if you're a builder, the math just doesn't work. The regulatory friction is the real villain here. It chokes off new supply before a shovel even hits the dirt.
Let's move up to Germany. The country's trying to fix its own math, specifically for startups. Lars Klingbeil, Germany's finance minister, is planning a major tax reform.
The goal is to wake up private capital. Klingbeil's party is the SPD, Germany's centre-left governing party. Traditionally, they might lean on state subsidies.
But now they want to incentivize private equity. They need private wealth to fund companies that are ready to grow. In fact, today, August 17th, 70 startups from East Germany are meeting to tackle this exact regional funding shortfall.
Finally, a quick update from Brussels. The European Union is preparing a massive new wave of economic sanctions against Russia.
Kaja Kallas announced the plan. She is the European Union's top diplomat, the designated High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy.
This is expected to be the biggest package since the invasion in early 2022. It arrives this autumn and will expand the list of sanctioned Russian individuals and companies by a full third.
While Ukraine physically strikes Russian supply lines with drones, Brussels is launching a parallel economic offensive. They are trying to choke off the flow of resources feeding the war effort.
That brings us to the end of today's show. If we look at the temperature today, it's clear that global players are getting ruthless about survival and efficiency.
Absolutely. Whether it's Chinese automakers dumping cars abroad to escape a domestic price war, Alibaba selling off video games to fund artificial intelligence, or developers halting construction in Spain, capital is moving purely to where it is protected or where it can secure an immediate advantage. The margins for error are shrinking everywhere.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, we'd love for you to get the gist free in your inbox every morning. It is the exact same clear-eyed analysis ready for you to read.
Just tap the subscribe link right there in your show notes. It's completely free. We'll be back tomorrow with more of the news you need. Stay curious.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.